probably a rush to get here, but you're here now. So now for the next hour, like put everything else out there. It's not part of your presence. Your presence is right here on the mat. So welcome to this edition of Gentle Somatic Yoga. We are working through spring and everything that entails. And spring is really the most joyous time of year. And so we want to bring more joy back into our movements and into our thoughts and into just the way we feel inside. And there's lots of different ways to do that. And we'll do a lot of them today. So I think I'll start today with the breath of joy. And the breath of joy, you can either do completely standing, or if you're not ready to move vigorously, you can also do it from a chair. So I'll demonstrate both, and then you can decide which way you want to do it. So I'll demonstrate the chair version first, and you can just imagine standing, which you would do. So it's a 3-part inhale and a 1-part exhale. So the inhale, arms go forward on part 1, arms go out to the side on part 2, arms go over the head on part 3. So if you're standing, you're doing it like that. And then you do kind of a whooshing sound as you let your body kind of whoosh on the exhale. And so it would be inhale, 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 whoosh, exhale. And again, this can be done as gently or as vigorously as you want, depending on how you're feeling today. And I'll now do it standing up. So 3-part inhale, 1-part exhale, breath of joy. Inhale, 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 whoosh, exhale. Inhale, 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 whoosh, exhale. Inhale, 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 whoosh, exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. So either you did that from the chair or from standing. And now I'd like for you, if you don't mind, place your right hand on your heart, your left hand on the belly, close your eyes for a minute and just check in. Hopefully your heart is beating a little faster. Hopefully you feel the energy flowing a little bit better throughout your body. So slowly breathe, settle the breath down, check in, and just notice. So these check-ins are so important. They're as important as the little routines we do. It's very, very crucial. So the next thing I want you to do, if you don't mind, is imagine that you're walking like a model. And so you're going to have the left foot go forward and the right arm go forward. Right and left, opposite. You can smile. This is a good way. This is the way we're supposed to be walking. We're supposed to be able to separate the shoulder from the hips. And unfortunately, sometimes after an injury or as we age, we start getting this walk where the same side is moving and we can't disconnect the sides from each other. So a purposeful walk that has shoulder back, hip forward, shoulder back, hip forward, shoulder back, hip forward, shoulder back, hip forward. So we're going to work on this also on the ground and then try walking again later on to see if by working these shoulders and hips separately, we can get them to move more smoothly. All right, shake that out. Plus, you can feel like a model first thing in the morning. So place your hands on your hips for a minute, and I want you to scoop your hips slightly forward and then scoop them back. Scoop them slightly forward, scoop them back. Scoop them forward and back and forward and back. So notice anything that you did notice during that. Is it, tighter, like back here? Do you prefer the scoop this way? Does your body naturally want to go that way? This is the red light, green light, red light, green light. And we all have a preference of what we like to be in, whether it's red light or green light. And we'll be working with that when we get on the ground as well. Now we'll do some hip hikes. So lift up a hip by coming onto the ball of the foot and just feel. So now you have a shortened side and a lengthened side. And then put that foot down. Do that 2 more times. Lift that hip, shorten this side, lengthen this side, and put it down. 3rd time, lift that hip, one side short, one side long, and put it down. Now, compare this to the other side. See, I have a lot more ability to do that hip hike on the other side than this side. This side feels like it's not moving nearly as much. Lift that hip. So I'm on the ball of the foot, shortening this side, lengthening the other side muscles. Bring it down. Lift that hip and bring it down. Last time. And now go ahead and shake it out. Maybe try walking again for a little bit. Again, we're trying to loosen up some of these muscles that get super tight, and especially in the morning after we've been sleeping. All right, come back to the center again. So now we'll try to add a little bit of upper body movement with this hip hike. So interlace the hands behind the head. So the next time, and we'll go back and forth with this, the next time I lift a hip, I'm going to tilt an elbow toward that side. So now you should feel even shorter on that side and longer on the other side. Come back to the center. Let's do the other side. So I'm lifting a hip. I am drawing the elbow toward it. There's a shortening and a lengthening under the other side. Come back to the center. Make sure when you come back to the center, you have released and that you're neutral now. So this is an engaged set of muscles and released. This is an engaged set of muscles and release. Go ahead and maybe just circle the waist around a little bit just to loosen up any tension you might have created here. And then circle the other way. So the side to side movements help get rid of the trauma reflex. The front and back movements help balance out the red light, green light reflex. All right, take your hands on your back body. So now the elbows are trying to draw back. So you should feel a really engaged area back here, particularly behind the shoulders. So feel that and let it go. Feel that. So engage it, soften it to neutral. Engage it, soften it to neutral. Last time, engage and release. So now we want to do the opposite way. We want to engage our pectoral muscles. And so give yourself a bear hug. So feel that. Feel the engagement of these front body muscles. And then just release. Put the other arm on top. Engage these muscles. So I'm even dropping the chin. And release. Engage. And release. Last time. Engage. And release. So for a moment, if you don't mind, close your eyes and check in to see how the sides and the back and the front of the upper body are feeling right now. You can even place your right hand on the heart and left hand on the belly and just do another check-in. right. So we'll do a little more of a free form movement. And the free form movements are wonderful to do after these kind of very structured sequences so that you can start to move a little more smoothly and gently in your body. So we're going to take, and if you're mirroring me, you're probably going to start with your left hand because I think I'm opposite of you because I'm doing my right hand. So I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to draw a circle and let my eyes follow. Around and a circle and let my eyes follow. I am bending the opposite knee. Now I'm going to take that same arm and sweep it in front of me. Sweep it in all different places as if I am painting a picture, a mural. And then if you notice any of these areas are very sticky, pause there briefly, engage the muscle and let it go and shake it out. And then we can start working the other side. So bending the knee, trying to notice my shoulder, what's going on with it, working through a lot of different movements. I'm diagnosing any sort of crunchy spots or any spots that feel like I'm not even moving it. Like I'm hearing a click back here when I do, I think this one. So now I'm going to pause here, draw the muscles in, contract, and then very slowly, mindfully release the muscles and let it go. Shake it out, walk around the room again, opposite arm, opposite leg. Get the shoulder and the hips to move different so that they're not moving as just one unit. And shake things out again. Okay, so the next series could be done with a chair. If you're having any struggle with balance, or you could have your hand near a wall, or you can just do this without. So I have it here just in case I need it. So we're going to move in and out of a warrior one. Now, if you remember, warrior one is a little different than a lunge. So warrior one, your toes are slightly turned out of the back foot. The front knee is bent. So it's always nice to first see, okay, this is as far as I can go right now without pushing or hurting myself. And I'm not going very deep because if I go any further, it's going to hurt. So it's always great to do a pre-check. Here's my pre-check with my warrior one. So I want you to release the warrior one, release the knee. Then you're going to go in and out of a warrior one. And again, you can do this sideways. You can go and release it. And just kind of release it each time. So we're engaging, and then we're disengaging. We're engaging and disengaging. And engaging and disengaging. And the whole point of doing it like this is to give your nervous system a sense of safety so it's willing to allow your body to go maybe deeper into the pose. So now I'm doing my pose check, and I feel like I can go deeper now because my body's not resisting so much. And I'm just going to feel that warrior one for a second. And then go ahead and release it. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So whichever leg you brought back, bring the other one back. Warrior one. Oh, do your pre-check first. So this is my pre-check. This is as far as I can go. If I go deeper, it's going to cause me pain somewhere. And disengage it. So I'll go in and out of a warrior one. And again, you can have one hand on the chair if your balance feels off. Warrior one. So each time, the hope is that you get to go a little deeper. Might have to tilt the camera up just a bit. It's cutting off my head. And on the last time, go ahead and hold it there. See if you were able to go deeper with a little more comfort. So now I'm going to see if I have a little more comfort here. Not bad. Not as good as I used to be, right? So Warrior 2 is a completely different set of movements. So we're going to do a gentle somatic yoga version of a Warrior 2 routine. The way I like to get into a Warrior 2 is I start off with a wider pose. And then I take one set of toes, turn them lengthwise. So if you have a regular mat, the other set of toes, I turn them slightly in. So this is much more of an open hip pose. If you remember, the Warrior 1 was like that, but now we've got one hip going one way and one hip a little more open. Now, people with sciatica, be very, very careful with this and check in already to make sure you're not feeling extreme pain. If this is causing you any such discomfort, adjust this back foot, adjust the hips so that you have comfort, and don't go as deep down into this. Now, the way I deepen this pose as I feel looser is I'm going to slide that foot further and further back. So Warrior 2, release. And you can go arms overhead, and you can reach for something if you need something. Release. Warrior 2, release. And Warrior 2, and maybe you have a little more comfort here. So in this Warrior 2, take one hand and place it on your thigh, and the other hand can be on your waist. So just lean over. And if your head is not comfortable like this, have your neck look down so your eyes are at your feet, and release. Go back down and release. And third time, down and release. And now we'll do an opposite motion. So slightly bend that knee, take your back hand, and you can either go down your leg. If you need to hold on to something, you can. We're leaning back and then releasing. Now, if you're not experiencing balance issues, you could have your hand go up, protect the neck, lean back, and release. Make sure you've released the muscles each time. Lean back and release. Last time, lean slightly back and release. So in between the two sides, you can either do a wall dog, a chair dog, or a complete downward dog. I love having my hands lengthened out on a chair or the wall. I walk away from it. I bend my knees. I lengthen my spine, but this is not putting too much strain on my neck or my shoulders. And breathe. And then whichever one you're doing, if you're on the ground, you lower down to your belly and lift up your head. If you're just leaning on a chair or a wall, just extend the head up. So don't crunch it back. Feel like you're lengthening like a swan. Feel the length of your belly and the engagement of the back body, and let it go. Let's do a walk around before we do the other side. Trying to get a little more spring in our step, shoulder and hip moving opposite of each other. And then we'll go ahead and repeat all of this to the other side. So remember to set up into a Warrior 2, start off in a wide position on the widthwise of your mat. Turn your toes to the skinny side of your mat. Turn your other toes slightly in. This is an open hip position. The chair is here if you need it. So you can go down and up and down and up. You can even swing your arms around into the warrior two. Release to neutral. Make sure you've released each time. So this is the muscle engagement. This is the muscles letting go. Engage. Feel the strength in your body. Feel the relaxation and ease. And engage and release. Now place the front hand on the thigh as you bend it. Your other hand can be on the waist. Some of you might want to put it up in the air. I don't do that anymore. It's a little too much on my neck and shoulders. Your eyes can either go neutral, down toward your feet, or some of you like to turn up. The more traditional ways to look up, but again, that doesn't work for my neck. So leaning over, coming back. Leaning over, so you should be feeling this part engage. Look, your quad engaged too. Let it go. Leaning over and let it go. Last time. Leaning over. So this would be side angle. This is the gentle somatic yoga version of side angle. Keep that knee slightly bent. Now we're doing exalting the warrior. I like to support my neck when I lean back. So I'm sliding the hand down, feeling this lovely opening over here. And then release. And release. And release. How's that feeling? Let's go ahead and either do a real dog, a chair dog, well, a real dog, a floor dog, a chair dog, a wall dog, any kind of dog that feels right. The downward dog is so much about lengthening the spine. You want maximum length of your spine. You have to engage the core to keep your spine safe. Breathe. You don't have to keep your legs straight. In fact, many of us have tight backs from having such tight hamstrings. So when you bend your knees, you're no longer involving the hamstrings. You have taken them out of the equation. All right, walk up toward you're either lowering yourself on the ground and doing a regular cobra, or you're doing a chair cobra, lifting, 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 or a wall cobra. The cobra is the lengthening now the front body and engaging the back body, lifting the chin. Let's do one more walk around. Swing the hip and shoulders separately. Hopefully you have more ability to do this today. Now that we have woke up all the different parts of our body. All right. So we're going to do our balance series, and then we're going to head into whatever seated position you want to be. So I love the practical balance series. The way I think of yoga these days, it's more about helping us with functional movement. And functional movement means things that you would be doing every day. Now, as much as I love tree pose, many of us don't walk around doing tree pose, right? But we do walk around with a lot of things in our arms, and it's getting into the warmer seasons. We're going to want to go to the beach, and we're going to want to get that sand off of us before we get into the car. So this little series is called Wiping Sand. So I want you to imagine you've got a lot of packages in your arm, and you're about to get in the car, but your legs and your feet are covered with sand, and you're going to try to use the other foot to clean the sand off, okay? So packages in my arms. I've got sand on the inside of the foot. So I'm using one inside of the foot to wipe the sand off the other one, still imagining I'm holding all these packages. This is when we usually fall, right? We got too many things in our arms. We're trying to unlock our doors. All right, so imagine that you have put a little towel down on the ground so you're not getting your foot sandy again each time. So lean back and forth, redistributing the weight. So now you have sand on the front of the calf. You're going to use the bottom of the foot to take the sand off the front of the calf. Still got these things in my arms, still trying to keep myself from falling over, smiling because I'm talking to somebody while I'm doing this. All right, got that sand off, and then redistribute your weight again to both feet. So now the last thing left is the back of your calf. So you're going to use the top side of the foot to clear that sand off. So you're going to rub it down, get all the sand off everywhere, all around. Okay, redistribute your weight again. Now we have our other side to do. We'll start with the inside of the foot. So slide your one foot back and forth, rubbing the sand off from the inside of the other foot. Redistribute your weight again between both feet. Let's do the shin with the underside of the other foot. Make sure you're getting all the sand off everywhere. So this is functional balance. And redistribute your weight again. And then use the top side of the foot to get the back of the calf. So once again, imagining that there's little specks of sand all over the place. Wrap it around and remove all that sand and redistribute your weight again. And now you've done your balance series in a very functional, practical way. So I hope this has been helpful. All right, so let's go ahead and make our way down to seated and do a mudra practice. You can sit on the chair or the ground, and then from there, we'll go on down. So we're not getting up anymore today. So wherever you're going, you can position yourself there and stay there. Oh, okay. I like this one. Since we want to have more energy in the spring, I thought we would do the Brahma Mudra, which is about cultivating more energy. So we'll go to that one. I'll demonstrate what to do with the hands. And then after that, if you feel comfortable, you'll close your eyes. Okay, so the Brahma Mudra is the gesture of creative energy for energy and vitality. So take your thumb and wrap it under the fingers in a fist. So you have two fists. And then you're trying to put the back of the fist toward each other. So from the knuckle to the knuckle of the hand to the first knuckle. And then you're going to find a place where this is comfortable against your body. Close to the solar plexus, unless this is too tiring for your shoulders, and then you can place it lower down, okay? So if you feel comfortable to do so, for the guided meditation, go ahead and close your eyes. So Brahma in Hinduism is the deity of creation, and the mudra directs your breath and your awareness and your energy into your solar plexus, which is the center of personal power. This gesture is very stimulating. It enhances the power of digestion and elimination. It also leads to increased vitality. The mudra cultivates enthusiasm, providing the determination that we need to move forward in our goals more easily. And at the same time, it instills a sense that we are inherently whole and complete, no matter what is going on in our lives and our health. So your guided meditation is Radiant Inner Sun. And if you feel comfortable to do so, close your eyes. As you hold the Brahma Mudra, take several natural breaths, tuning into all the feelings and the sensations awakened by the gesture. Notice how your breath is being naturally directed into your solar plexus, the center of empowerment, your Manipura chakra, your third chakra. This awakens the energy that allows you to live with greater vitality. In order to connect more deeply with your source of vital energy, visualize a golden sun shining brightly at the center of your body. With every inhale, the energy is concentrated right there at your solar plexus. And then with the exhale, it radiates outward, filling you with golden sunlight of vitality. Begin by sensing this radiant golden sunlight bathing your digestive system in vital energy, supporting it in functioning optimally. Take some time to sense this radiant energy, enhancing your body's ability to transform all your food into nutrients efficiently, helping you assimilate them and then eliminating all the waste products completely. With your physical digestion more complete, your golden sun enhances your ability to digest life experiences more easily, thus allowing you to assimilate all the learnings you need while releasing all that no longer serves your journey. With the enhanced ability to both digest food and experiences more easily, your inner sun now infuses your thoughts and feelings, helping you cultivate more enthusiasm and vitality to live life more vibrantly. Living with greater enthusiasm and vitality, you're able to release habits and limiting beliefs that keep you from unfolding all of your talents and possibilities. As you begin to release these limiting beliefs, the rays of the inner sun fill you with clarity and energy, helping you define your life goals more clearly and manifest them completely. Take a little time to welcome that inner sun into all of your thoughts, attitudes, beliefs. Lastly, sense your golden sun illuminating all of the dimensions of your being, providing you with the determination to overcome any and all obstacles along your journey, allowing you to live with radiant vitality. Affirm your radiant energy by repeating the following 3 times, aloud or silently. As I awaken the sun of my inner being, I live with optimal energy and vitality. As I awaken the sun of my inner being, I live with optimal energy and vitality. As I awaken the sun of my inner being, I live with optimal energy and vitality. Slowly release the hand gesture. Move your fingers around. Shake them out. And as you're ready, gently blinking open your eyes, bringing more energy and vitality to all of your activities. All right. So from your seated pose, go ahead. We'll do our twisting series now. So you can do that from the chair. You can do it in a traditional cross leg. And the traditional cross leg, if you're doing it that way, you are going to be twisting toward the front bent leg. Or you can set yourself up in deer pose or mermaid pose. So these are three choices. You can sit up on something if you're on the ground and your hips feel too tight. If you're on a chair, that may be different. You can just sit closer to the front. Okay. So the first thing I'd like for you to do is just do a twist and just notice with your eyes open where you can naturally twist to without strain or pain. Now, when you come back out of the twist, I want you to purposely release everything. So there's a softness, totally soft here. Now for the next 3 rounds, if you're willing to close your eyes so that you can sense internally what's going on. So twist, notice where you're engaging, notice what's working, and then purposely, slowly, mindfully unwind, letting everything go until you're totally relaxed. Do this 2 more times. Sense the muscles engaging and then sense them releasing. Totally, absolutely, softness. 3rd time, re-engage all the muscles. Feel the work and let it go. On this time, you can open your eyes so that you can check in to see if you were able to go further. And I've gained about 25 degrees in a circle, so not bad. And come back to the front. In whatever position you are, go ahead and release that position. If you're on the ground, your legs are in front and your arms are behind. If you're in a chair, you could still windshield wiper. And open up the chest a little bit, even reaching toward the back of your chair. And then go ahead and set up for the other side. Now notice if this side needs something different. For instance, on this side, it felt bad sitting on top of a cushion. The other side, I needed it. And if you are in a cross-legged position, you change the cross of your legs. So first one, eyes are open. This is your pre-check. Notice how far you can go without pain. Pick a spot on the wall. Also notice where you're working. Wherever you were working, now you're relaxing. So I was working this hip area. So now I purposely softened this hip. Let it go. Re-engage whatever muscles you were working to accomplish this twist. Close the eyes, twist, sense. Slowly unwind, release, soften, let go. 2 more times, engaging and disengaging muscles slowly. Only holding for less than 3 seconds when you get into the twist. Don't overstretch or strain your body, because that will convince your nervous system that this is not safe, so it will tighten you up more. It will send signals to protect instead of setting safe signals that, oh, okay, this is all right. On the 4th time, reopen the eyes. Look behind, see if you have gained range of motion. And then come and release in some fashion. If you're on the ground, your arms are behind you and you're swishing your legs around. Now, if you're in a seat, this next sequence works, but is not quite as effective as if you're sitting on the ground. We're going to release our neck. And so I will show you from the side how to do this. So from the side, I'm going to and I'm going to sit up on something because my tailbone is digging into the ground too much. All right, so I'm going to sit up like this. So my knees are bent. Now, maybe my arms can't go around my legs. That's okay. You can put your arms wherever. So all you're doing is allowing yourself to look up without straining your neck to see what you can see in a comfortable lifted position, not a strained position. So it may be, you may not be able to look up very much at all. You have to be very careful with this. So now release your hands. The fingers are pointed away behind your back. And you don't have to sit in any like erect position, just soften your upper body as much as possible. Slide one foot out 6 to 8 inches, come up onto the heel, curl the toes forward, release the toes, release the foot down, slide the foot back to meet the other foot, and lift those toes. Keep the rest of the foot on the ground. Flatten the foot again, 2 more times. Forward, heel, toes go down, release toes, flatten foot, slide back, toes go up. Last time on this side. Forward, heel, toes go down. You might hear cracks and pops. Release the toes, relax the foot down, slide it back, lift the toes, and maneuver the toes individually. Now, release the hands from behind your back and look up and see if you have a release in the back of your neck. The reason you get a release is because we have a superficial fascial tissue that starts at the foot, comes up the back of the leg, through the spine, and connects right at the base of the head. And so when we release our feet like that, we're releasing our neck. Let's do the other side. Slide the foot forward, up on heel, curl toes down, release toes, flatten foot, slide foot back, lift toes. Forward, up on heel, curl the toes, let the toes go, flatten the foot, slide it back, lift the toes. Last time, forward, up on heel, curl the toes down, let the toes go, flatten the foot, slide it back, and lift the toes. Now lift both sets of toes for a minute, as if you're playing piano. Now this can be done in a chair, as long as your chair is not too high. You could be sliding 1 foot forward at a time, still releasing the back of a foot. Go ahead and release the arms, look up one more time and see if your neck feels like it's been released a little bit more. And hopefully you've gotten a little bit of neck release. So we're coming on to our sides now. We want to do the thing that's going to help us separate our hips and our shoulders so that we can walk better. When I lay on my side, I need an extra cushion. I do not like the feeling of laying on a hard surface. If you need something like that, go ahead. And also you might need something under your head, either a rolled blanket or a prop like this, a pillow, something like that. Okay. So we're gonna stack up on our sides. And imagine that you're actually sitting in a high back chair, so don't drop your head forward. Keep it nice. And your knees are stacked on each other. Your feet are stacked on each other, the shoulders are stacked on top of each other. So we're going to slide this hip just, it might only slide 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and then slide it back. So we're shifting the hip slightly forward, shift the hip forward. It's almost imperceptible. Shift the hip back. Third time, shift the hip forward, bring it back to neutral. So now I'm going to try to slide this hip slightly back. So I'm trying to draw the hip a little bit open, still keeping the knees together and the feet, and then bring it back to neutral. So now my knees are right on top of each other. When I draw that hip back, the top knee is slightly behind and come back. And these are really small movements. Your hips don't move very much like this. And back. So now you've done that 3 times. Now we're going to do the shoulder by itself. Engage the front of the shoulder, back to neutral. Engage the front of the shoulder. So how am I engaging that shoulder? I'm turning the hand inside out. Back to neutral. Third time, engage the front of the shoulder and back to neutral. Now let's open. Now we're going to engage the back of the shoulder. Open the hand to the sky. Don't lift it. Just keep it still. Lock to your body. Neutral. Open the hand to the sky, feeling the back of the shoulder engage. Neutral. Third time. Open that hand, engage that back shoulder, come back to neutral. So now we're going to put these together doing opposite. So I'm going to slide the knee forward, which means the hip is going forward as I open the shoulder back. And then I'm going to slide the knee back, so the hip's going back as I engage the front of the shoulder. Opposition, just like we did when we were walking. We're trying to get our hip and shoulder to move as separate units. All right, go ahead and release that. And we'll do one twisting action from here, check in on our backs before we go to the other side. So when you're doing the twisting action, you may not want something under your head. You actually might want it between your knees or even supporting your back. So I'm just going to open my body. And then close the body. Open the body. And close. And then maybe this time we'll leave it there open just for a breath or two. Feel this opening of the waist. Keep your hips securely stacked on each other so you do not feel this in the SI joint. Release whatever pose you're doing right now. For a moment, lay on the back and check in. You can either check in with the knees bent or the legs completely stretched out. But the side we worked should feel very different from the side we haven't worked. It might be like more tingly or more awake or, oh, like it's not a blob. What happens to our body on the parts we don't work, they become like blob-like. We don't really sense them. All right, set up for the other side. Laying on your side, stacking your knees, stacking your feet. Head is hopefully not leaning forward. Your shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Your arm is laying over your leg. Slide that knee slightly forward to move the hip forward. Return to neutral. 2 more times. Slide the knee forward. Return it to neutral. 3rd time. Slide that knee. Return to neutral. Now we're going to try to slide the hip back, which is very difficult to do. It may not move very much. The knee might come back 1/8 of an inch. Come back toward neutral. Slide it a little bit back toward neutral. Third time, and neutral. Now let's do the arm. Turn the hand inside out to slide the shoulder forward. Come to neutral. 2 more times. Hand is inside out. You feel that shoulder engage. Neutral. Third time. Neutral. Open up the shoulder. So now the hand opens to the back. Your arm is still kind of glued to your body. Neutral. Open up the hand. Feel the back of the shoulder engage and disengage. And then third time, engage, disengage. So now we're doing opposition movement. You're going to have your knee slide forward, bringing your hip forward as your shoulder engages in the back. And then the opposite, the hip is going back as the front of your shoulder engages. We're doing opposition movements to get our hips and shoulders to coordinate better. All right, let's go ahead and release this. Get onto your back. Oh, wait a minute, we have to do our twist. So release the pillow and open up into a twist and close. Open into a twist and close. And third time, maybe holding it for a couple of breaths. Now come on to your backs. Check in. You can either check in with your legs straight. You can check in with the knees bent, feet on the ground. Let's just do a few closing windshield wipers. You can have your knees wide or narrow. You determine what feels most appropriate. Explore these movements. Put your hands on your hip bones, and let's go ahead and rock back and forth to restabilize our pelvis to the middle. You're almost like a rocking chair. And then you might want to do something with legs up in the air. Maybe it's a happy baby. Maybe it's just bringing your legs in and moving it around, or even putting hands under your butt and shifting. Any sort of inversion is a nice way to end the movement part of our class. And then you're going to find yourself in your comfortable Shavasana. It does not have to be laying down on the back. It can be in a seated meditation. You could even take a child's pose. Whatever feels right for ending today's class. Hopefully your body is feeling better. You have more energy. Your thoughts and everything are feeling a little more joyful, more spring-like. And I love this Donna Fald's poem. You can see I've used this book a lot. There's no cover anymore. And this is called Nothing is Impossible. I tell you, this was no ordinary rainbow. It stretched low and wide, the spectrum reaching inside the mountain, tickling the tops of the trees with indigo and red. I gaped and laughed and leaped. I tell you, it was something, this rainbow, and I took it for a sign. A sign of what, you ask? That nothing is impossible, I answer. That gladiolus can shoot up through a blue Persian rug. That the stars in Orion's belt can join a rhythm and blues band. That squirrels can count change at the basketball game. And grapefruits, as big as bowling balls, can roll into the kitchen in time for tomorrow's breakfast. I tell you, this was no run-of-the-mill rainbow. The ark is with me still, its promise steering me clear of whatever passes for normality around here. Nothing is impossible. So that's the vibrant attitude we want in spring, right? We're planting seeds that nothing is impossible. So go ahead and chill out for a bit, and I'll set up to play our final little bowl. This signals the end of our time together today. I hope you have a smile on your face. Gently move whatever needs to be moved. Take your time emerging. And let's go ahead and gather any of the seeds that we planted today that actually are sticking with you, that you would like to continue to prune and nourish and water this spring. Bring hands to heart. Let's connect with each other and say namaste.